Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Moscow region. Now we're not in the center of Moscow, we're out in the suburbs. We're about an hour away from Moscow where we are here, so I thought I'd come to a cash and carry. Now this place is called Metro, which is actually a French company that's actually here in Russia, and they've been here for a lot of years and they plan to stay. But it's a wholesale or bulk purchase store, so cash and carry. So we're going to go and check it out and see if we can see any differences between Russia and the rest of the world, and maybe some unique items that you don't see outside of Russia. So let's go. Now, because we're out in the regions of Moscow, this is not a particularly busy location. It's next to a very major highway though, but there is not too many cars in the car park. This is not near any bus links, train links. Literally, you would only come here by driving here from a nearby suburb. So that's why it just feels a lot quieter, even just pulling in here. There's not too many cars here at all. It's a massive car park though. I mean, it's not a small place. So we'll head on inside and see what we can find. Now I'm here with my friend Ivan. Now this place does actually need an app to get in. Actually, we were just going to show this. You basically have to scan your card to get in. You can't pretty much come here unless it's like a membership style place. Now it really does feel empty. I thought there'd be more people wandering around based on how many cars we saw outside, but it's a big place though. Yeah, right, yeah. It's very similar to Costco. And then I'd say it's very similar to Sam's Club as well. So if you've been to either of those, but yeah, check that out. First thing we see, Mexican Corona right there. Yeah, there's quite a lot of Western brands here. And yeah, they got the prices basically by the case, by the 6-pack.
Actually quite expensive here. Now we were looking at Guinness over at another store, and it costs around 400 rubles per can, and it's 229 rubles for a can of Guinness. So it's quite decent, you know. It's usually half the price.
Right. So yeah, there's a lot of savings to be had here if you're going to buy in, particularly in bulk, in some kinds. So yeah, it's very interesting to see Guinness and Corona. They're right front and center in the store. So just walking around a little bit more, there's obviously a lot of bulk packaging of items and large bags of things, and you know, not just the kind of normal, you know, this is actually the pet food section, so these are like the 15-kilo bags of cat food and the dog food over here, but there's not really kind of like the single packaging of things. You kind of have to buy, you know, whole trays of something, or giant bags. This is Pedigree. I'm sure you guys know this very well. The big bags here. This one's 13 kilos. So there's a lot of bulk goods. So one thing that I noticed here, they've still got all of the plastic. This is all mostly disposable tableware and containers and knives and forks. But they've still got all the plastic disposable products here. Now I know in Australia we've recently got rid of all of this in the supermarkets. And then even the straws as well are still available. So there's still a lot of things here that you can not get in other countries. Here's the alcohol section. Let's see if we can see anything a little bit different here in the liquor section. So walking around the alcohol section, so typically in Russia here, they've got a good selection of vodkas. There's quite a few different varieties in here. It depends on where you go to what sort of store and to what assortment they've got. Definitely quite a few here, and then we see all the liqueurs. I was just showing Ivan there the Midori, which is a very popular drink for ladies in Australia. I think this is the first time I've actually seen Midori in a store here. We know so well Bailey's, Captain Morgan, gingerbread spice. A little bit too late for Christmas, but it's still in Russia here in the stores. Only a couple of bottles left now. And then classic Bacardi. So we know all these brands. Interestingly, Dominican Republic has a bit of a run here. Here's Barcelo, Dominican rum, Zacapa from Guatemala. So not too many. Actually, there is quite a few. I was going to say not too many tequilas, and I realized they're on the next section over. Now, these probably don't look so big from where I'm filming them from, but these are the bigger Jeroboam bottles. So there's the Grey Goose there, which is the 3-liter bottle, also Ruski Standard, the Beluga, then there's a big bottle of Grant's. They're the giant bottles. Then here's all the American whiskies right here. So actually a little bit of Japanese in the corner too. But despite all these sanctions going on, there's plenty of American alcohol available. Even single barrel Jack Daniels, which isn't as common in a lot of liquor stores. It's nice Woodford packaging there with the crystal glass. So yeah, Jack Daniels Rye is not very popular. You can see the dust starting to create on the top of the bottle. That's interesting. But plenty of American products in the store. So Metro doesn't have its own bakery, so pretty much all of the bread that they have is all packaged bread. And they've also got the Eurobake bread here, which is what you'd actually put in an oven to basically finish the baking process. And then they've got lots of pastries here as well if you want to kind of make cakes. So this is, Metro is predominantly shopped for people who have businesses, cafes, restaurants, where they're buying in bulk packaging. The bread here is not necessarily in bigger packaging, but here we go for all the American viewers. Harry's American Sandwich. Now, the one thing I'll always point out with this bread, it doesn't show up as well in this light, but it's very white. It's like bleached white bread, which is, for me, it's almost like it doesn't look real or natural. You might see it better on these ones. But is Harry's American Sandwich very well known? And here's all the meats and hams, which this is pretty normal to most bulk food stores. Nothing too unique about this. Maybe bigger packaging. I think that's about all. You get these bigger tubs and bigger kind of cuts of meat. But nothing too different.
That doesn't look too healthy, to be honest.
No. Yeah, some of the meats in here, I guess I'm not a connoisseur to know all of these products. And have a look at all the salamis here. So there's pretty good choice. And then some bigger ones and a lot bigger than the sort of supermarket size. And then here you can get eggs and milk. So this dairy section is fairly similar. Actually, this is kind of cool. There's a 15 box of eggs. Now, we're so used to seeing 10 and 30. So 15 box. That's different. So just walking around, there's definitely no chance that they're going to run out of food in this place. You can see here, this is stacked to the roof. The amount of back stock they have. And then this is actually the freezer section. So we kind of saw this in a couple of videos previously. But they've got, actually they've even got pizzas here, frozen pizzas. And these are kind of in bigger bulk boxes. Pizza isn't a big thing here in Russia than it is everywhere else. They've still got some brands. Even this, we had this in Australia. I call this Dr. Octa. We had this in Australia in the supermarkets. Yeah, just have a look at the amount of stock they have. And there's no real empty spaces or shelves when you look around. I mean, even just this dairy section, the amount of choices going through this dairy section. And just walking through the fruit and veg section here as well. The one thing that's different I find here in Russia is that no matter the time of year, you can still get all the different fruits and vegetables. I mean, you may pay a little bit more for some of them. Purely, they don't grow everything in Russia. Some things are imported. I mean, that's a definite. Here you can see the big bags of potatoes. So it's another way to buy them here in a bulk store like this. But you're able to buy so many of the fruit and vegetables year round and they don't seem to factor in that kind of seasonality that you get like in Australia and America, because they import from a lot of kind of faraway countries, and they have them right on the shelves here in Russia. You'll see here even just with these. So there's there's mangoes, pineapples, grapes. So what may be out of season here is still available regardless of the time of year. And definitely at the moment in Russia there's no problems with toilet roll. There is a lot in this store, kind of stacked up taller than I am. This is the cleaning aisle here too, so all of the different kind of liquids, and then this is for dishwashers, but absolutely no problems with toilet roll. See, some of these are kind of the more recognized brands from the normal supermarkets, and then they've got a few of the generic brands as well, so plenty of stock. So just walking around Metro, I don't see lots of differences with going to somewhere like Sam's Club, Costco, and whatever maybe bulk or cash and carry place you have where you live. It's very similar. I mean, okay, different brands of course, but not really big major differences. We are actually going to go search out the Coca-Cola to see if they've got some of the new Russian versions of Coca-Cola in here. Now, as I walk over to the soft drink section here, the one thing that's very noticeable in Russia is the amount of water that you can buy. So, of course, this is a cash and carry place, so there's a lot more six-pack and bulk packaging, but the thing for most Russians is they don't drink tap water at all, or they don't drink water from the, I guess, the kitchen or the bathroom tap or whatever you want to call that. And pretty much everybody drinks some kind of bottled water. So whether you live in a traditional house or apartment or a dacha in the countryside. So you'll see here just how many types of water there are. So I guess this is something that sort of stands out as something different compared to other bulky goods stores. Then here's all of the different beauty and personal care items. So a lot of the stuff's in bigger bulk packaging. So you're going to get, you know, like 1 liter bottles of shampoos. But there isn't lots of differences kind of walking around. I mean, it is noticeable, but, you know, if you need larger packaging of things, I guess this is the store that you come to. For sure, there is some deals to be had. And the other thing too is they keep telling me there's a shortage of photocopy paper here, or printer paper. And for sure not. There's plenty of paper available in the stores. And then if you do own a cafe, there's plenty of choices of products for the fridges, for the cool rooms, and then all of the different types of pans and baking items, accessories. This kind of is like a kitchen section. It just goes on and on. There's quite a lot of aisles of it. So just as we're heading outside, one thing that's kind of caught my eye here is a vending machine with flowers. Now, I have seen vending machine with flowers in Russia before, so it's not new to me, but these are actually dried flowers. So they're basically like everlasting, I guess you can call them, but they're not cheap either. You know, this is 3,000 rubles, so $50 or $60 for a bunch of flowers. But how many dried flowered vending machines have you guys seen in the world now? This is the first one I've ever seen, so I think it's kind of unique. Now, as I walk out of Metro, I didn't find too much Coca-Cola products, but I found Jumbo Cola. So this is going to be my drink for the car on the way home, Jumbo Cola. So yeah, thanks for watching my tour of Metro here in Moscow region. We really are quite a fair way away from home here, so we're going to jump in the car and head on home. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to post a comment, let me know what you think, some differences between where you live. And yeah, I'll see you all in another video. Bye, everybody.